Hey everybody. So rather than on the water today, I wanted to walk through um, some of the things I do before I go out sometimes. Um, and and today it's just the flows. So flows don't make or break. Well, they can break, I guess, your fishing experience, but most of the time it's not like a huge deal. It's just helpful to be aware of extreme variations, right? So if the flows are crazy high or if the flows are really low. And here in Utah, at least, where most of our water on any of the bigger rivers, um, on like the blue ribbon fisheries, so like the Green, the Provo, the Weber, all of those are below dams. So the flows are controlled by us, and it's helpful to know what we're choosing to do. And they do change it based on drought and time of the year and whatever. So I thought I'd share what I've done to check flows. So um, I've your tax dollars have done some pretty cool stuff with the geological um, the USGS, and they have a lot of water data uh, for around the United States. And one of the things that they provide is flows. So um, if you see here what I've done, I just searched for USGS water data and I pull this up, and I get here. It says that there's this new water dashboard, and I haven't spent a lot of time on it. Um, but glancing at it first, I need to spend time on it, but I don't like it at first just because there's not as much data as their original map, and I'll show you that here in a second. But if I come to this, here's the map of the U.S., and it shows all the water sites that they've got. And basically, what it'll do is it'll show you levels and flow if it's a river. So I could click on any one of these points and see and get information on it. So let's come up here to the Middle Provo, um, and they've got a site here right by this bridge. So I could access the data, and now I'm starting to see, you know, uh, when they started collecting data, the latest time they collected it. You can see some of the stuff that they stopped collecting. Um, the one thing I always look at usually is this discharge. So how much cubic feet of water is flowing down the river per second. So what I have done is I've gone through this map here. So I don't have to click in to each time. What I've done is I've created a bookmark folder of all the rivers that I'm interested in, and then I've bookmarked those flows. So like if I want to go, if I want to go to um, the Spanish Fork, it pulls up that chart. You can actually see I had that bridge one in Charleston up right here. Okay, I made a little bit of a mistake. When you click into here, you are interested in this discharge cubic feet per second. But the more helpful chart is this current and historical observations. And the reason is because it gives you the discharge. It's the first chart here, it's the discharge, but it also gives you this median daily statistic. And here it says over the past 19 years. Some of these I think go back as far as 30 years. So uh, what's really helpful is you can compare what flows are currently at compared with what historically they've normally been at that time of year. So you can see here on the Middle Provo, it's like right on where it is, which isn't surprising. Um, it's winter's in full swing, and they usually control the flows. They're pretty constant. You can see there's not much change both in the median and the actual values. So yeah, so what I've done is I've taken and actually that reminds me, let me just show you. Compare like this chart here to this. If I zoom into the about the same, where is it? You can see there's a lot, like there's a lot more here, a lot more in this realm right here, right? This only had 4. This one had 7. So this map just tends to give more data. So you can explore this if you want, but I'm going to close that for now. One little helpful hint too is on this URL, or you can do it here and then bookmark this. It's also something I like to do. If you, the way I've got it is if and I'll put this link in the description of the video, but you can see it's got state equals Utah. You can do that for any state, and then that direct link will take you right to the state that you want to see. So it's been fun to have these direct links to rivers that I care about. So and actually what's really fun, like for example, you can see how they change. So we were already here. So here's the Charleston one, which is towards Deer Creek. I'll show you on the map. The Charleston one is down here. And so that's towards the end of the Middle Provo, and you can see, there's streams that feed into this. There's 3 of them, in fact, 3 or 4. 1, I don't know if that makes it all the way. 2, 3, and really there's 4 right there. So if we compare, this is actually a little more variable, which makes sense because while this, gotta get my map straight. Well, this is coming right out of the dam, and that's all the water is. These are coming from up here, and in daily temperature swings, which you can see with this, as the day goes on, the flows rise, and then as it cools, they drop. So, kind of fun. Right along the median levels, though. So things would be normal. If it's along the median level overall, you'd be able to be confident that nothing's going to be too crazy. Where it really gets fun is in the spring. And let me see if I can find a year where it was exceptionally high. Hang tight. Okay, so here's an excellent example. So this is at the Charleston point close to Deer Creek on the Middle Provo. And you can see these swings here. So it was in 2017, the water levels were already above the median, so flows were high. Now, on this chart, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These lines represent hundreds of cubic of feet up until this. So 170 to 200, not too bad. But as things got warmer, the folks over at the dam on Jordanelle decided to release a lot of water, and so here you can tell, stuff like this is huge because all of a sudden it's gone from 200 cubic feet to 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So 200% more water flowing down. It's double that of median level flows at that time of year. So if you chose to go out fishing on this day right here, you might have some difficulty because the fish are adapting. The water's probably, bringing a lot of debris down that's fallen because it's like the first time it's been that big. Same point here, like they made, and these flows can change like this just within a day. And so if they jump like that, it's not impossible to catch fish. That's like, it's never impossible to catch fish, but the conditions would be a little more interesting because the flows would be so much higher. And on rivers like this too, like here in Utah, there's not as much space, right? So these rivers are a lot narrower. They're skinnier than a lot of places, especially, in the Midwest and East for sure. But even when you compare our rivers to Idaho stuff, it's just not as much water. So when the water gets big, it's funneled in tighter spots, which usually means it gets really fast. So, and when stuff gets this high, um, here or in the lower Provo, for example, especially in that canyon, a lot of times for me, it just gets, one, it's not safe. Um, and it's just way too fast. And it'll change in a day, because it's held behind a dam. If it's an exceptionally high water year, they might maintain flows low on a river while they build up the capacity of the reservoir. And then if it gets to a point where they're like, okay, we got to let some go or else we'll have issues, then it jumps, and it's a big change. So not always. Most of the time, it's not completely necessary. If the water years, especially, are normal, like not too much drought, not too much water, they go pretty close to this. But if things can change. The green is also an excellent example of this, of where the flows can change pretty quickly based on the water that they let out of the dam. So bookmark all of the rivers that you think are useful. I'll put all of these links in my in the description of the video so that you don't have to do the work. And then if you want to add additional ones, obviously feel free to do that. So hope this is helpful.